There you are.
Uh,
How are you? How's the audio?
the audio is good on my side.
Okay, it's good here too. And
Mhm.
how do you pronounce your name?
Bernardine.
Bernadine.
Bernardine. Or if you
Bernadine.
prefer, well, my friends all call me Bernie, if you prefer that.
Bernie. Hi, Bernie.
Bernie.
I'm Hera.
Hi, Hera. Nice
Nice
to
to
see you.
meet you too. We've only been through text, so oh my goodness. So how are you? How are things?
I'm really good. I haven't had time to go back to the rest of the exercises that I got from Oversoul last time. Like my altar is finished, my yes altar. Um, but I have been so busy, like with the final huge clear out of all the fears I had around relationships and men, because this
Yeah.
guy came into my life as well. And I asked him that the only way I made a deal with myself that I could like start, like having guys in my life was by number one, try seeing them as a friend first, which hasn't worked, but but to take things slowly, which is great because we don't message in between meetings. So I'm the stuff that's coming up, I'm getting the time to work through it. Like so that's what
So
I've been doing all day and night.
So for everyone, what she's talking about is I did a volunteers project. And what we did is we went through resonance protocols of distortion, and we started off by clarifying and getting some confirmations together. And after that, it really was oversoul to oversoul and connecting and going through some different practices to kind of help get into that flow of the distortion that she's been working on, Bernie. And she is also a practitioner of kind of what I do, very similar. So if you wouldn't mind, before I explain, if you'd like to kind of introduce yourself to Ancient Voice Rising community and say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, community and everyone. So, my name's Bernardine. I'm originally from South Africa. I'm living in Mexico now. And I've basically been on my healing journey the last almost 8 years. Um,
Wow.
and it was basically a heroin addiction that pushed me to my healing. So, I have a lot of gratitude for that because I've had a lifetime of abuse, but I obviously wasn't learning from that. So the universe decided to throw something else at me. So anyway, uh, I'd obviously tried everything. Luckily, it was only for 5 years, but I tried everything to get off it. And then eventually I was led to ancestral medicines, which helped me. But I also realized that, I mean, I went to the first retreat just wanting to get off the heroin. I didn't know anything I know now. But then when I
Right.
got there and I heard people talking about their traumas, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can deal with some traumas, right? And anyway, so luckily, my very first retreat, my first night, like that was it for me with the addiction. But I continued with the retreats, like with my healing and like learning about the medicines to facilitate them and stuff. But I eventually got to a place where I found my own way to continue my healing, which using my own techniques and ways. Like I have had no one guiding me the last 8 years. Like I just found my way through the internet, through going the long way, and everything. So anyway, here I'm at now. and super proud of myself how far I've come. Like, and
Absolutely.
I don't, I wouldn't really call myself a practitioner at the moment. Like I work, well, I work with the ancestral medicines, right? Like ayahuasca, bufa, and kambo.
Okay.
But I also have been doing bits and pieces of mentoring people,
Hmm.
of just the way I've done my own healing. Like, because obviously I had to go a long, hard way and to discover, for me, in my opinion, the quickest way to help people, like, right? To get to the root of the problem and that way around. So I've been mentoring people here and there, but I want to reach more people, like, so yeah.
And hopefully that's what we can do here. That is my goal here with um, interviewing and just having conversations with, and I say this lightly, but with everyday soul like-minded beings that are not on the big, huge platforms that are just rotating over and over again.
Yeah.
And because I feel that it's very important that our voices are heard as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, not invalidating anybody else's experiences in any way. It's just,
Yeah.
here we are, we're in the muck of it and we're doing it. And we need more of this. We need more community. We need each other to guide
Yeah.
and lean on and to, assist one another. Because you know what? I've gone through my journey since 2019 with spirit.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
haven't had any mentors. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it has been intuition based and um, my spirit guides, and now linked into my oversoul,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm really hoping to get from this. And so you're not calling yourself a practitioner. Um, what what would you call, what would, if you had to put a label on it, which I don't really care for labels either.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I'm like
mentor.
a healing mentor or guide, you know.
Okay, that's kind of what I use too, is like I'm a walking guide. I'll hold your hand because you're the one that's doing the healing,
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
know? Yeah,
And
I
it's
agree with that.
and it's like I don't have certificates in psychology and all of that stuff. Like I am my own walking certificate. I am the evidence, right?
Yes.
So if anyone's rolling off to me, and I'm not saying it's everyone, but if everyone's telling me, oh, I've got a PhD in this and a this and that, I was like, okay, so tell me, like, how
Life
far you've come
experience.
or what changes have you made in yourself and your life, like in the last, I don't know, year or whatever, like, So yeah, because it's this time now, this is all a fashion. A lot of this is a fashion, and there's a lot of like charlatans and that. But I've had my own process over that, and it's like that's their journey. And if anyone goes with them, that's their journey. Like, all I need
Yeah,
to focus on is me and stop comparing, like, which is a killer for all of us, like, and I think with the oversell thing I did with you as well, there was quite a few big takeaways was that I don't need to do anything the conventional way, like. So
absolutely
I
not.
don't need to do a course in something because someone wants a certificate. It's like, no, this is me. Like the ones that need me will come to me and they're not going to need anything other than me as evidence or proof, like,
Right. For the longest time, I have two certificates that
Mm,
I worked hard for.
mm.
But I never, until just days ago, actually posted anything about
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
them. because I just didn't feel like it was relevant. My life experience and my awakening through my life experience and, my feet on the ground going through everything, I felt was my PhD.
Yeah,
I didn't need
exactly.
a certificate to tell people or for anyone to believe me or
Mhm.
to, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, yeah.
To,
And and it's not everyone. There are a lot of, whether it's psychologists or people working with the medicines or whatever, there are people out there that they are walking the
absolutely.
walk or whatever, but there's a lot that aren't. It's all about, they say, the feathers and the clothes and the whatever. It's all coming from ego, but again, that's fine because that's their path. Like I'm sure at some stage they're going to come to that realization, or they won't,
Yeah.
so that's why I don't like labels. I don't like being calling myself spiritual or a shaman or a this. I'm like, I am just who I am, doing what I'm doing. I don't need a label on it, so, but I feel some people feel they need a label, like
Well,
whether it's coming from like a client or the other way.
yeah. Well, I think for the guides to, like, for myself, for example, and this is just, my perspective, um, I I am a guide that walks hand in hand with my brothers and sisters that I'm one with, and I'm a recalibration specialist. I'm a master of energy.
Yeah,
Um, and that doesn't mean I'm a master of your energy. It means I'm a master of my energy.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
can use my experiences and what I have learned through my journey to walk hand in hand with my brothers and sisters.
exactly. Like, and you're not going to learn this stuff in books. Like, you could have studied for how many years or read how many books. Like, that's why they say true wisdom comes from your own experience and walking through that fire. Like,
Yeah,
knowledge is what you're learning, right? So, but you can have all the knowledge in the world, but not really have wisdom, like, because you haven't actually practiced what you've learned,
right. When
Yeah.
I went through the Sakhamet um Reiki course, the master course.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went through the high priestess um course of the goddess Isis. And after I went through that, I kept trying to, it felt like I was searching, like I was still seeking and searching. And they were like, stop studying.
Yeah.
It was like, you need to just link in, like you're there.
Yeah.
Stop
Mm-hmm.
studying. You need to just start speaking your truth, your authenticity. And here's some protocols. Here's a good focus for you, and commit to it.
Yeah.
Stop looking everywhere else. Stop looking at other people. Stop looking at this and stop studying this, and just allow yourself to receive. And
Yeah.
I found once I started doing that, I started really like putting my hands out and starting to receive and surrendering into the process, and not always enacting these protocols
Mm-hmm.
that were given. Um, when I'm working with myself, um, it just, it seems like things just click into place.
Yeah. I
It's just,
call it the boardroom. Like, if we
yeah,
just allow them to do what they need to in the boardroom and put the puzzle pieces
I
together.
always have my counsel at the table.
Yeah. And it's
That
not
is,
that easy.
that's the
Like,
inner
that's,
critic. That's all of them, that's the one that was addicted. I went
yeah.
through an addiction for more than 25 years.
Wow.
I was married once to a man that is now passed, and he was addicted to cocaine, crack. And so, yeah, and suicide. And so yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. But it's all a process. Like, the last few weeks I've just been allowing myself to kind of be, which isn't easy,
Mm,
like, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, like, I'm sure you're not in the matrix anymore, like, and it's just trusting. It's like, because some people might think, oh, our lives are amazing because they've got all the time in the world, blah blah blah. It's like, it was a decision I made, and like, it's literally living from day to day on faith, right?
right.
But also to convince your mind that no matter what, you're going to be okay and everything's working in your favor and everything will be better than perfect, better than expected. So it takes work,
It
like
takes a lot of work.
reprogramming. Yeah, reprogramming your belief system is the real work because that's like persistence over and
Yeah.
over and over, so yeah.
Dropping those beliefs, traditions, cultures, and religions from all, like, I am, I was brought up in Christianity. So that's where my culture, my tradition, my religion comes from, so
Yeah.
I know that. I don't know as much about, well, I do now, but Hinduism and, Buddhas and, all the different, like, you got to really, like, kind of let all of that stuff fall to the wayside
Yeah. And
and
it's, yeah.
let all the beliefs go, and then you start, and then, like, what, for me, my perspective is just, I started, like, going, okay, you know what, I like, and that feels right to me, so I would pluck it out, and then I would go over here and go, hey, you know what, that speaks to me, I'm going to pluck that and put that in my tool belt, and I really like that over there, and I'm going to pluck that and put that in my tool belt. And then came sovereignty.
Because it's a choice,
It is.
there's two things. Either we can continue complain and blame the whole world and all the people, or we can choose a different story. However, obviously it's not that easy because we've never been
Right.
told that it's us. Like, I that journey of mine started with like law of attraction, like many people. For many years I was like doing all this stuff, trying to be high vibe. I don't think they teach it the right way. So yeah, things would happen, but you would lose it again, like, because you haven't worked on your fears and your limitations. That's going to sabotage that thing that you wanted, right?
Yep.
But from the law of attraction, it led me to the law of assumption. Do you know Neville Goddard?
Law of
Yeah, so
assumption.
all
Yes.
of those guys, Dr. Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard, Dwayne Dyer. And then when I realized, like, oh shit, it was all me. It was all me. So I can't blame anyone anymore. They were just playing the part that I had assigned to them.
Hmm.
But I then made it because my first thing that I started working on was in relationship to men because of a lifetime of abuse. But I realized that it wasn't fair for me to paint them all with the same brush. I didn't like thinking of them all as, I don't know, like negative stuff, right?
Right.
Abusers, whatever. Like, so I consciously started choosing to experience them differently. I did all the work to release, let go, and forgive, and whatever the past stories. But then, yeah, I consciously decided to start changing my beliefs. And like, the more I did that, like in the new story, like, so in my experience, the first feeling you get when you're changing a belief is within yourself. How you can see that you're not reacting or not reacting the way you used to. And then eventually, like once that belief sets as a new one, then you start seeing the reflection back to you. So you don't experience that anymore, like, So
Right.
yeah. And then when I realized that I had the power, I decided nothing and no one will ever have power or control over me again. So I've literally,
There you go.
my whole belief system, money, relationships, love, whatever, like, and that's not easy because the subconscious wants to like reject that. It wants
Yeah.
to stay where it is, like in its comfort zone, right? So, but it's the most rewarding work I've ever done, and I will never change it. And I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I sent you some um oversoul to oversoul phase locking protocols. Do you feel that we need to go through those protocols before I start asking some questions? Would you feel comfortable with that, or do you
I
feel?
don't think I feel comfortable.
I do too. I feel that I'm already like my feet are getting hot, so I'm grounding, and I feel that the field just kind of went bloop, and here we are. We're ready to go.
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
Okay,
I, I,
I'm gonna let
I yeah.
I'm gonna let those go then, and I'm gonna bring up some questions. So when you're working with yourself, um, do you, or let's just say like when you are working with yourself in your home or you go out into public, do you set any type of like protection for your energy field? Do you cleanse daily out of fear or out of I'm not carrying anybody else's burdens because I'm in that I I love myself enough to not carry the world on my shoulders type of, I mean, what's your, I'm trying
So
to word.
I used to always Palo Santo, Sage, Copal, everything,
Mhm.
but I don't feel I need it because I just believe that no matter where I am, who I'm with, what I'm doing, like I'm always safe, secure, divinely protected, guided, supported, right? And that's my mantra. Even if I'm going to go anywhere like that's going to be like crazy, like on the underground or whatever, I just repeat that. But I just feel that already. If I do go to spaces where there's a lot of people, I will try and have a shower like the minute I get home. And I used to always carry crystals with me all the time, and I still do now and then. But again, I feel it's like here,
I have like one that I keep, I keep,
So yeah. So I don't feel that I do need protection, which is why I said to you, like, I feel okay without us doing that. Like, I just, and I
well,
mean,
and the
the
reason why,
proof was, the proof was as well when you were trying to get into my oversoul and you asked me to let go of the guard, which I mean can mean two things, right? And then I was like, oh, it's good to know there's someone there. But and then that you had to ask again, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally protected.
yeah,
I have a whole army behind me. Never mind all my guides and my stuff and that, but like, every time I eat food, I have this thing like where because I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I do try and
yeah,
eat less
sure.
meat. But I always like, thank the animal and the plants for giving their energy, and I clear all negative energies and suffering or whatever, and then I accept their light as part of my being and my consciousness. So every time I'm eating, I'm adding more to my army as well, like, and if I'm going to ancient sites. So yeah.
So
But
when you're going to the
I
ancient
still,
sites, when you go to the ancient sites,
like
Do you do anything for that?
I would go and do a little offering there, but then I like invite the light of the ancestors to be part of my consciousness and my being as my protectors and guides. So I'm just building my army. So that's why I don't feel like I need to do anything. Like I would, shower. When I'm in the shower, I would say my thing about I'm clearing any negative energies, any energies that do not belong to me, or any energies that do not serve my highest good.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay. Did you have anyone in your family or in your lineage that had addictions that
I
came
know
for you?
my mom's mother was an alcoholic, but that's all I know of. Because my grandparents passed when I was very young, but I do remember my grandmother was an alcoholic. Not very bad, I don't think, but yeah.
Okay.
Why are you asking?
Um, well, because I know, like for me, recently, over like the past year, um, it's been put your roots down and pull your roots up, but leave some roots down and pull some up. So it's kind of been plucking roots here and there, like pluck the addiction root out of the generation, or um, you know, pluck the this root out or that root, of generational indoctrinations. I guess
Yeah,
you could call it that.
yeah,
Of the beliefs of, we'll go back to like having the PhD. I have a lot of family members that have PhDs, and
okay.
I've always felt very inferior to them, and they felt very superior and acted superior
Yeah,
because they had those titles. Well, when I
yeah,
started coming into my awakening and all this knowledge and all this wisdom started flooding in, and I can go, you know, yeah, you can balance. We'll just take hormones, for instance, right? You can do it your way, or you can do it instantaneously my way.
mm, okay.
And I could go body part to organs, blood, vessels, cells within cells. And I could start going toe to toe with that verbiage, with that language, and had never heard it before, not know
Yeah,
it, and be able,
okay.
and
Oh, that's like channeling through you.
yes,
I've kind of experienced that, but like with some of my activities, you know. So, for example, so in relation to ancestors, guides, angels, and that stuff, right? I never used to be into that. But then last year I had a really crazy mushroom ceremony by myself in my place, and it was crazy, but I remember I was so scared. I had so much fear. I was wanting to leave and like whatever, like, right? And then I was like, oh, because the medicine was trying to take me into this dark place, right? And I
right,
didn't want to. And it's like, but this is what you want. You want to do like proper shamanism, and this is what you need to do. So then I was like, well, where's all these guides and ancestors and angels that everyone's always talking about, right? And the medicine's like, they there, but you have such brick walls around you. You haven't allowed anyone in, like, to connect with you. You need to start breaking down those walls and trusting yourself and others,
yeah,
and that's what started. So then I was like, well, how am I going to do this? And then I started in art class, a thing that I thought would help me start breaking down the walls around me, like, right. But anyway, and then I just started realizing how they were actually there, but I hadn't realized. For example, that someone gave me my first picture of a beautiful picture of Archangel Michael, right?
Hmm.
Big one. But I just liked the picture. I didn't know anything about him, like, right. But there's that, and then another friend painted Saint Bridget for me, like the Irish one, and I didn't even know why I did that. But then I really realized that that was how they were like make coming into my awareness, even though I didn't know at the time, like,
Oh, goodness. Give me
um
1 second. This is telling me something that this is about to end.
oh, how long have we been talking?
30 minutes, but I went ahead. I don't know why it's only given us 40 minutes because I had upgraded beforehand. So I don't know why it's doing that. If not, we can
Yeah, it
continue as
says
soon as it.
9 minutes remaining, right? Just under nine.
Yeah. So if we get cut off, I'll just reset another one if you want, real quick, and we'll continue.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
am I
we've got like 8
continuing?
minutes. I'm going
Okay.
to
So
I'm just going to let it run out. This is our first time doing this. I am going to go ahead and post it so that people know what's going
okay.
on and how, but I went in and saw that and it just popped up upgrade to pro and I was like, I already did.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's doing what it's doing.
Well, okay. So I'll just quickly finish. So that's how I started. And then like I didn't know what I was doing, but then like the one day I had my drum and I was like, I'm just going to try something. I don't know. I was like, okay, I'm inviting spirit and my ancestors, the drummers, the shamans, to like channel through me. Like, and then like these tunes would come in that I was like, where the hell is that coming from? Right. And then another thing is like I do Aztec dancing, and it's so many steps, so many dances, there's so much to learn. And then every time, the first time I was like, okay, I'm up because I believe we all connected, even though I don't directly have bloodline that were Aztecs, but we all want the same anyway, like, right, connected. So I was like, okay, I'm asking my ancestors, the Aztec dancers and spirit to channel through me today, that I'll just remember the steps and I'll know exactly. And like, it's just like flowing. I'm like, this shit works.
Well, it doesn't
So
mean that you didn't step back into a simultaneous life,
yeah.
as an
Mm-hmm.
Aztec, as a
Yeah.
Mayan. You could
Mm-hmm.
be living that that life. Like there's things that you're there to complete that you didn't maybe complete before. And that's why you had
Yeah.
such a strong connection with that. I did that with some shamanism and some different and Azakatl. I can't remember. He came in this big giant snake that comes down to
Oh,
us.
Quetzalcoatl.
Quasicatl.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I worked with him, and boy, he's such a trickster. But yeah, I mean, this big, huge, giant snake just filled my room, and then he like would get in the car with me and stuff, and I'm going, so like, what is happening? And it's like, you're on a rapid tour here, girl. Let's get going. You got to move through this because you got other places to be. And I'm like, but I'm not I don't know that culture. I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Let's go. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I've been there.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we
I
consider,
definitely feel it. Like, the way it happened that I ended up in Mexico, and I just feel like this is where my soul belongs. Like, I couldn't imagine living anywhere else now. And I love all the Mayan stuff and the Aztec stuff and the philosophy and all of that stuff. Like, and yeah, like every time I go back to Europe, I'm like, no, Mexico is still my place. If I go back home, no, Mexico is still my place. So this
I
is
got to
where,
come down and visit.
yeah, you
I
do.
want to come
Yeah.
down and visit so bad. Yeah, I want to come down and check it out and hang out.
It
And
will happen. It's
it
gonna
will.
happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Where are we at? Oh, 4 minutes. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about the channeling and all of that as well.
Um, yeah, I used to channel cosmic energies from different galaxies. Um, and and I would bring through medicine healing
Mm-hmm.
into the field of the one that I was, well, at that time, I called myself a healer until I learned that, no, I'm not healing you, you're healing yourself. Placing I'm connecting to your soul and placing the energy, whether you accept it or not, you'll get it.
Yeah.
And I do believe that in the old paradigm that, all of that was accepted and acceptable at those times in order to learn where we are and where we're growing and where we're going in the world that we see today.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very different.
Yeah.
Um, in my eyes, it's very different. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's not so much a permission. It's just an automatic connection of a yes or a no, and then it's let's walk and do this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, more like the oneness and unification, and um, just reaching your hand out to someone and smiling and saying, "Hey, if no one's told you today, I love you. You're loved, and you're not
Yeah.
loved here in the physical form, but you're loved in the energetic form as well. And don't ever forget that your life matters. You matter. Everything about you matters. One day you may understand, one day you might not. But
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of work to do to get to that place of realizing it, Um, for me anyway. I mean, yeah, I
I think
was
we're in a very large lesson kind of right now with
Earth School,
Earth
as
School,
Dolores Cannon
the
calls it.
university.
Yeah. Just not everyone's doing so well. Like, they might have to come back again.
Well, she is she's doing her thing.
Yeah, there's a lot changing.
There
A
is a
lot of,
lot.
yeah, a lot more awakening and yeah, it's supposed to be the first time in all of humanity that we've had this experience where we currently are in the world, with all the chaos going on around us, and it's all
And
part
getting a
of,
choice. And you have a
yeah,
choice. You have a choice to see. You do. I feel that so deeply. Like you have a choice
definitely.
to make a commitment to be here and to collaborate with the earth
Yeah.
and the roots and to co-create and to be whatever you want to call yourself, to be here with,
Mhm.
in this. And I think we have a commitment. I know for me too, as to bring that cosmic consciousness in as well to assist what is happening here on Earth and all of the shifts and
Yeah.
changes that she's going through, that we're all going through and experiencing with her.
Hmm. And I mean, the more we healing, she's healing too. And all we can do is drop seeds where we can and help the people that are ready to be helped. Like I'm sure you,
So
um,
in the
so
realm
we were
of,
talking, yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
continue. No, no,
So
you go ahead.
we were talking about Quetzalcoatl, and so in that realm of the archetypal energy and the cosmic energies, as far as planets and ascended beings and ascended masters and angels and all of that, have you experienced or seen any of those um, energies?
No, it's another thing that I've learned recently as well is I've never really had dreams or maybe not remembered them. I've never felt like, if you're manifesting and a lot of them are teaching to visualize something, I haven't been able to. And sorry, I recently discovered that if you've had a very traumatic, abusive like childhood and that, like, you completely disassociate from your body, but also mentally and your memory and everything is involved. Like, because you're just so focused on survival mode that you
Mm,
completely switched off. So because, and also I used to think I was stupid and that why was I stupid and my brother was so clever. But I discovered as well it was because of the abuse. Like, like if you're going through abuse and that, like you can't concentrate. I was really bad at school. And then we were like, we kept moving towns or cities. So I went to like 6 different schools and really struggled, like the abuse with all of that stuff. But it's okay because then I realized like it's not that I was stupid. I was just totally like switched off. Like my mind had to switch off. So, but I have that awareness, and that's the next thing I'll be working on, like, to allow my imagination to come back and all of
yeah,
that stuff. Like, so as I said, it's a process, you know.
I've done that.
I,
I've gone in and out of that, of not dreaming. And then, well, I got so scared of my dreams when I first like started going, okay, there's spirits surrounding my bed.
yeah.
And what do I do? I was terrified. And I was
Uh-huh.
having nightmares and being woken up and touched, and I could hear things. And it was like, no, thank you. And
Wow.
so I did a ritual where I cut that off.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And it was fear. It was pure fear.
Uh-huh.
Um, and after that, it is slowly starting to, like, I feel energy. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's there. I know what it is, what it's not. And,
Yeah.
but remembering my dreams, it's usually when I'm first waking up in the morning. I will come out of something saying, like coming out of my sleep saying something. And then I try to like sit there
Yeah.
and focus on that. And that's turned into my meditation like time is when I first start waking up and I'm like, really, it's only 6 o'clock in the morning. Like I really want to go back to sleep for like another hour or two. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, no. I'm like, really? Like, no. I'm like, okay. And then with visualization, I have these bursts of um where I travel,
Okay.
where I can
Uh-huh.
and actually see when I travel outside of my body.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
Mainly, most of my work has been really behind the scenes within the grids of
Yeah.
the earth and the plant and the different layers the planetary system and the galaxies and that. I don't talk a lot about that, but
Well, yeah, I
not
suppose
yet.
not yet, but also maybe not ever. Like I don't know what like I'm supposed to be. Maybe well, I would never have thought I'd been to angels and guides and ancestors and stuff, you know.
So how do you know who you're connecting with?
So just because they kind of like my kind of, I suppose, chosen ones, but that I feel that they came into my field, right? Um, like Isis would have been the very first one that I felt connected to always.
Yeah.
Um, and then I also, have you heard of the Sophia Code or have you read the
Mm.
Sophia Code?
Yes, I've been
So I'm
initiated
still,
into the Sophia Code. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm still busy with that. I've done most of them because, there's a lot involved in each one
I
of
did it
them.
in 1 week. I couldn't put it down.
Wow.
I did it and it was like, no, you got to get through this. So like my journey has been like a 6 month interval. Like I went into psychic readings and Reiki and healing, hands-on healing for 6 months when I first like and then like dived right into shamanism and then went into dragon medicine and then went into cosmic energies and then started channeling cosmic energies. And then I had to step back, and then I went archetypal, like I would channel archetypal energies.
Mm-hmm.
And um every 6 months it was something new that they were bringing me. It was like a crash course, a rapid crash course in, okay, you've got to know this and this and this and this to get to where you need to be by a certain your time frame, right? Like there's something coming that you've got to be prepared for. And so
Yeah.
this is why you were awoken the way that you were awoken, because, and I really don't even like to use those words, but they're what we have right now. But it was very progressive, very fast, and um, just a whirlwind.
Yeah, I don't think that would have worked for me.
It wasn't easy, and
Yeah.
it was not easy at all. And your family looks at you and goes, "What?" I remember working on my mom, and I took her outside, and she has this big lake behind her house. And I said, "Okay, take your shoes off and put your feet on the ground." And I was teaching her how to ground down into the earth, into the heart of the earth. And I remember I put my right hand on her shoulder and she almost like fell to the ground. And then I put my left hand on her shoulder and all of a sudden her head flew back. And she's like, I have never seen colors in that fashion before.
Wow.
And then when I brought her back in to the house and I was working on um, learning the lessons of each chakras, um, and opening them up. Um, I put my hands on the bottom of her feet, and she used to have really bad ankle and feet problems, and a lot of swelling and pain, and it disappeared. It went away, and I knew then. I was like, all right, what's going on here? You know,
Yeah.
and I
That
had to.
moment when you discover your power.
She literally she almost passed out outside. And I was
Mm.
like, I haven't even told you what to do yet. And she's like, I'm here. Like I'm here. I can see it. I can see it already. I can see it. Like I can feel it. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take my hands off of you. And she's like, no, don't take your hands off of me. She's like, don't take your hands off of my shoulders. And I'm like, Mom, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna take my hands off your shoulders. And when I took my hands off of her shoulders, she like almost like fell backwards.
Wow.
And And I just put my hand in the middle of her back, and all of a sudden she just straightened up and she was like, okay. She's like, oh my God. She's like, I was like, I don't know what just happened because I didn't even say anything. I didn't tell you. I just said, let's just go ground before we do this. And boom. And
So
there
that,
her
yeah.
awakening began.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, like because sometimes we want to do like it's easy, but we're trying to just complicate things that, oh, I need to do this and I need to say this. It's like, so, no, if you just believe that you already have the power in your hands or whatever, it's gonna happen. You
My
don't need
hands are
to.
really hot right now.
Can I tell you, like, so when I started my healing journey and I went to my first few like ayahuasca retreats, I was totally resisting the medicine and blocking it out, right?
Yeah.
So my
Oh,
my so I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, maybe I need to go get for hypnosis or something. And I went home after the one retreat and I spoke to my friend who's a dog groomer, and she was grooming at the time. But I was like, yeah, the ladies at the retreat said that I should try like energy healing. This is before I believed in any of that. It was all woo woo to me, right?
yeah.
And she's like, Bernie, she's like, I'm an energy healer. And you know what? I'm on my last dog. And you know what? For some reason, I put my uniform in the car now. I haven't done anything in months. I don't know why I did it, but this is obviously why. So she took me into the room. I fell asleep. I didn't think anything of it. She told me my mom had been there and all of that. And I went home and I was feeling amazing before that. I just came home from a retreat and I was flying, right? I woke up the next morning and I felt like I'd been hit by a bus. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and I message her, I'm like, what, like, is this like because of you? Like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, that's what happened. She said she had to do a lot of pushing and pulling, and like all my chakras were blocked, and, she had to do a lot of work. So that's when I was like, oh, maybe this stuff works. Like, so
Yeah. It can actually rearrange your organs. You can
yeah.
actually go in and move organs around
So
to
like
actually where they're
kind of
supposed to be.
spiritual surgery or something, right? Is that what it's
I
called?
think they call it, yeah, like a psychic surgery or something like
Oh,
that.
something like that.
Yeah, I,
I had one of them in a ayahuasca ceremony, in
mm,
Colombia. Like when the medicine started, like my whole body was paralyzed and I
yeah.
couldn't move. And
Oh
then like I
goodness.
could feel like each part of my body being scanned, my head first, and then like my top part of my body, and then my legs and that. And then there was these like the way I can explain them, they look like kind of robot minion stuff, things that were like clamped my head down, and there was these like lights on as if I was in a surgery,
Oh
like
my goodness.
and they were doing stuff like with tools and that in my head, and I had no idea what was going
Uh,
on. And then that was done, and then like they clamped down the next part and they were doing stuff and that and that. And then afterwards, I had this massive purge, and then that was that. And I was like, but I've heard other people had that experience too. So
yeah, I've woken up in the middle of the night and it felt like I had this side of my face propped open, like they were doing work on the inside of my mouth. And I
did you have a
literally could
problem
feel
there?
it. Huh?
Did you have a problem there, an issue?
Not that I was aware of, but I woke up. I didn't see anything, but I could literally feel the side of my face lifted up and like they had placed something inside my cheek to hold it up, if when you're at the dentist.
It
And I
sounds like
feel them
horrible.
could feel them working in there, but I wasn't scared. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
scared. I was like, "Oh, I'm getting worked on." And boom, as soon as I mean, in just the thought of that, it was over just like that. Like it was
Yeah.
like, what's happened? Okay, never mind. Bye. Good night. And like, and I just went back to sleep. And then the next morning, I was like, what in the heck? I went and I like looked in my mouth. I was like, what is going on? You know, it was so weird.
Yeah.
So I've had those experiences too. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
And even, when you did your thing with me, like, so I know now as well, like, like I was told by the medicine a few years ago that I needed to do energy healing with crystals, with people and animals. But I've never felt, I did a very short Reiki course, but I've never really felt it. And I know now because my body and my energy was so closed up, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been possible for me. So after our session, remember the oversoul, when I said I needed to start connecting with my body more, I'd been doing stuff in relate, but I could feel every time you were doing something like heat or something in my
Yeah.
body, like, and I do Tai Chi and Sufi classes, and like through that I've started like kind of, like I feel kind of, I can feel it now, like, because it's releasing all this stuff that has been like blocking it, like,
So when I was
and I've got
asking, go ahead.
hmm?
When I was asking you
No,
to to um to to allow your protection to release, or to allow your guards to open up, to allow your, it
yeah,
was like open the gates. You've
yeah,
gotta open the curtains, open the gates, and allow the energy to come in if you really want it to. If you feel
yeah,
like you resonate with it, and you really feel that you want it, then you got to break the walls down. Because you are the gate.
I know, yeah,
You are the gatekeeper. You are the gate. You are the doorway, the threshold, the portal, the sacred temple. And in order for me to be able to get in there and connect, it was like, holy geez, it was like layers and layers of just like gatekeepers and gatekeepers and gatekeepers and gatekeepers. But I know that that's layers of distortion, and
yeah,
which is traumas and that kind of stuff. You have to want to put words on it. But it was just
yeah.
like, hold on a second. Okay, here's another one. Okay, hold on a second. Here's another one. Hold on. It's like, and it's not that it is that you are protected and that you're
But
loved.
it's electric fencing protection.
Yeah, it's like take some of these layers of the gatekeeping off a little bit, and let me crack it, get in the little crack there, and then let's have a conversation.
Well, it definitely worked because, as I said to you afterwards, that I felt such like a human fog had been lifted, like literally afterwards, straight afterwards, and that I felt more clarity, even though I didn't know what the clarity was about.
Yeah,
Um, and I just felt, okay, I'm ready. I need to just be my pure, authentic, vulnerable self.
there you
And
go.
the only way I know how to do it at the moment is to just post the stuff that's coming up for me. Like that's all I know at the moment, right?
And that's
Which
perfectly fine.
yeah. So that's
Yeah,
what I've been doing. And then remember I had the back thing, the pain in my back and stuff.
right.
Like I still had that, and I was doing anti-inflammatory diets and blah blah blah. Anyway, I discovered then, because we always getting the guidance like of how to do something, like and I was like, I want clarity, like what is this, like, so I spoke to my good friend AI Coco,
Oh, there you go.
and
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
explained to her this stuff, and obviously she came up with all of these things. I don't know my book here. I know it's all related to emotions and stuff anyway, right? So
Hmm.
I started working through that, and then I was asking something again, because actually the problem was there last year, and I went for like acupuncture, like the electric one, and I went for somatic deep tissue massage, and then it kind of went away. So when I told her that, she's like, "Oh, that's even more clarity." She's like, "Because if that was there and that stuff took it away, then this means it's your fascia, right?"
Yeah,
I learned about fascia last year, and I'm like, great. So this is what I'm doing. So I started doing the fascia blocking with my affirmations about that it's safe for my body to let go and my fascia to let go, it's basically gone now, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's to all of these inspired actions
Isis is
and
really, or Osset. She's also known by Osset. She, her name is Magic, and she, when I know that there's something I'm trying to touch on, I will go to my mentor, to my
mm-hmm.
spiritual, even though, she is seen as an archetype and all of that. Um, I just have that. Like, I can go to her. I was having some things going on yesterday, and I went in and we went and she named them, and we released them one by one through
Yeah.
each chakra, and we named them. And within less than 10 minutes, everything was just gone. And
Wow.
it had been an all day thing.
Mm-hmm.
And within 10 minutes, it was just, done. I was gone. And I'm like, how do
Yeah.
you can't explain that.
No,
You
but
can't
I
do
do
that.
feel in these kind of things, I feel that we don't necessarily need to believe in it. We just need to be open to that. You know what? Let's just try this. Maybe it will do
Wow.
something, maybe it won't, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
because it's the same with the subconscious. When we are reprogramming a belief, we're not going to believe it at first. We're
Yeah.
basically convincing it of the new story. And it's only once we receive the proof that we then going to really believe it, but we're not going to believe it whilst we're doing the work. It's just,
Well,
to be open.
it's funny because my daughter just had surgery 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And today I looked at her and I was like, you know what? I was like, you want to go out to the pool? And her everything is on the outside, everything is healed. So she was able to get in the pool. And so we
Yeah.
have this little key card, and you just put it up to the gate, and then you go into the pool. And I had given it to her, and she put it in. I saw she put it in her bag that she
Mm-hmm.
took to the pool. And we came back and we looked in the bag and we looked everywhere and looked where we normally keep it. It wasn't there. Our roommate that we live with, she went back to the pool to see if it had fallen out anywhere. And
Yeah.
it was nowhere to be found. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. So I was gonna go up there and look for it again, myself. And as I started to go out the door, we have this little glass thing that we keep it in by the front door. And there it
Mm-hmm.
was, sitting cockeyed right by the front door. I was
Love
like,
it.
I was like, Lexi, did you look? She's like, no, mom. And I'm like, and Hannah was coming through the door. You found it? Where did you find it? And I'm like, it's right there. And she's like, no, it was not there before I left. And I'm like, it what like it's weird, like things are happening. Things are happening.
Yeah.
And after I talked to you, I went to turn my computer. I got my computer on and I was making sure that I had everything ready, and you know how they have to restart.
Yeah.
So I turned my computer on and it did the rescan and then it shuts down. So I hit the on
Yeah.
button, and when the on button came on and a screen came up, it was how to conduct meetings on one-to-one on Bing. And hadn't even typed anything in. Like all I did was turn my
Yeah.
computer
It's
on
crazy.
from turning it, you know how it has to like restart to upload and
Yeah.
stuff. And a tab came up and it was Bing, which I don't use. I don't even use Bing. And it was how to conduct meetings one on one. And there
Love
were
it.
instructions through that. And I was like, I brought my computer downstairs and I was like, girls, I was like, you've got to see this. You're not going to believe
You
what happened.
you can't make these kind of things up,
You
right? And
can't.
yeah, like there's more and more of it happening. Like I that's another story, but I've learned as well now, if things are not happening for you and it seems to be a mission, it's because it's not meant to be. Because if it's meant to be, it will be easy and flowing, right?
Yeah.
I was meant to go to the desert to this community. I won't get into the whole story, but like I kept trying to book the flights, and every single website, every single card, PayPal just kept saying error, 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 error. And I went away for a week and came back, tried again, and it just wouldn't. And the day after I came back, I got a message to basically say I'm not going to there anymore. Like,
Yeah.
right. So then I'm like, okay, well, like I suppose that's why I didn't book. So then I decided, well, I've got the time off anyway. I'm going to go away anyway for my birthday, right? So the very first website, so I was like, okay, it's not beach time because of the weather. I'm going to go to the jungle, the Mexican jungle. I've always wanted to go. I'm going there. I looked at flights. The very first website, the very first card just went in, right?
Ugh,
And and then you just sometimes see the red flags afterwards. So I was basically being saved, right?
yeah.
And then it's funny because like a couple of weeks before that trip, I was going down the rabbit hole of trying to find out more about my ancestors. Like firstly the Portuguese part, like, right?
Mm.
And I want to get DNAs and whatever, but anyway, and then I left it. And then for some reason, a week before, this thought came in my head that I remembered that I was allergic to bees when I was a kid, right? And I
Hmm.
always had to be taken to the hospital for shots because we were always outside. There was more bees, right? And then I looked up what's the spiritual meaning of it and that. And, they were very important in the Mayans and the Egyptians and all of that. Anyway, so I forgot about it. My first day in St. Christabel, there was a jewelry shop with like the Mayan calendar outside. And you look
Right.
up with your date of birth, what you're like, it's called a Nahual, is like your Mayan spirit animal. And what was it? A bee, right? So I go into the shop and the girl speaks English and she gives me this piece of paper to read in English. And it's basically that the bees were so very important to the Mayans. They saw them as their messengers between
Hmm.
worlds and their ancestors. And I'm like, this is just crazy. I feel like I need a bee tattoo now.
My
So
God.
I went and got my bee tattoos
Oh, there you go.
to remind me to just be and that my ancestors are always with me, and actually when I was standing outside with the tattoo artist, before we started, like we were having a meeting, not a meeting, a talk, like he was smoking and a bee started circling around us. And I'm
Oh,
like, that is such sign, and
yeah.
there's another part of the story which started a whole nother process for me, like because I don't find them, they are perfect now, but I woke up the next morning. That's a story for another day, but anyway.
Okay. Oh, no, that's fine.
How much time have we got?
Um,
uh
so we'll
Geez,
go.
this is going very quick.
It does. It can. It can go very, very, very quick. So we'll have to get back together and do another one. But it's been amazing to talk to you, and I'm excited to do it again.
Yes.
And I'm excited for the ones that are coming to follow you and build this community of, you know, all different perspectives, all different walks of life. Um, and no, I guess my message here is believe in yourself and believe in your own. I dare to use the word power, but believe in your own energy field and believe in your body and talk to your body and
Hmm.
know that you do have all the keys to everything that you need inside of you. And there are guides here, not only in the unseen, but in the seen, as yourself as well, that our hands are extended. We've been
Mm.
there, we understand, and we're here to help and assist however we possibly can to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, and no judgment,
No. Mm-mm.
We've been through the fires and we can take your hand if you're ready.
Yeah. You
No.
got to be ready,
And,
though.
and even, yeah, you have to be
You got to
ready.
be ready because it's,
And very importantly is that you want to do this for you, not for anyone else.
yeah,
Not that you want to heal because you feel your relationship would be better or for your kids. It doesn't work. It won't work. It
right.
has to be because you want to become the best version of you. You want
That's
to
right.
remember, yeah, who you're supposed to be.
Yep. Walk in that
So,
authenticity and your uniqueness and remembering, that when you were a child, it was okay to cry
yeah.
and it was okay to be who you were supposed to be.
And everything happened for a reason. As bad as it was, and how you maybe possibly can't believe it now, like, but you will realize later
Mm.
how it was all meant to be. Because I mean, like a few years ago, I used to think, is there a bloody sign on my head? Like, pick me, abuse me. But now I know it was part of my path because I wouldn't be where I'm at now, right?
Yeah,
So you can't see it in the moment, and that's okay. But just choose to, it's all possible. No matter what you've been through, like it's totally possible. So if you're watching this, taking this as a message, and us as messengers, that it's totally possible, and we're here for everybody, like who's ready.
absolutely. Absolutely. Bernie, it is a
That
pleasure.
was such a pleasure.
Oh my gosh, I love the beautiful face. I love seeing your eyes and I love feeling your energy and keep going, girl. You
You
are
too.
you are
I,
just
we're going to do much.
absolutely divine, my sister.
And right back to you. And I feel we're going to do much deeper stuff
Oh yeah,
soon when I'm
we're
ready.
just getting started. Just getting started.
Anyway.
All right, everyone. For me, you can find me at ancientvoicerising.com. Also on Facebook at Ancient Voice Rising, and we have a group called Council of the Many Paths. So come and join, and then you got us here on YouTube with Ancient Voice Rising with Hera Diani, and I'm looking forward to having another conversation with Bernie, and maybe down in Mexico.
Who knows?
Who
Maybe at a
knows?
pyramid.
Hugs and kisses.
So, also, one last thing, if
Yeah,
anyone has any questions of anything or suggestions of something they would like to talk about, right, for the next one, you
post
know.
it in the comments, like and
Yeah.
subscribe. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mwah.
Bernie. Mwah. Take
Bye.
care. All right.
You
Bye.
too.